Welcome to our latest episode of Better Humans at Work. I'm thrilled to be joined today with Ireina Hyde. Thanks for being here,
It's
Ireina.
my pleasure.
Yay! So Ireina is a recent grad student in the psychology program State University. She was recently honored as her program's outstanding and originally from Belize, which I didn't know. I didn't know you were originally from Belize. And a proud first generation college student, she
Yeah.
brings a unique global perspective to her work. Her primary areas of interest include employee engagement, training and development, and onboarding, fields where she has gained both academic and practical experience, a true scientist practitioner. She's passionate about helping organizations build healthier, more productive workplaces and is so excited to contribute to the conversation shaping the future of work. Welcome to the show.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honestly very honored that you asked me to be here. So,
Yay. Well, let's kick it off. But for viewers out there that don't know what psychology is, how do you define industrial organizational psychology?
I like to define it as the scientific study of humans at work, which is, in my own opinion, using psychology to solve workplace problems.
Using psychology to solve workplace problems. I love that. I love how like simple but effective that definition is. I really like that. I like to talk about it as using data and science to improve the human experience at work. And that's the core of this podcast too. I don't only talk to IO psychologists, but I do talk to a lot of them because I'm one of them. And I'm really excited to have you on to talk about IO psychology. And so how did you first get interested in IO? Like what made you decide to go to grad school
Well, I
for it?
think it is a very common answer, but I was doing my undergrad and I was doing it in psychology. And I knew I wanted to work with people, and I was leaning towards clinical psychology until my very last semester, where I took a class in occupational health psychology. And for the first time ever, I just felt so
Mm-hmm.
engaged in the content that I was learning about. It just felt so easy for me to like understand the material. And so I talked to my teacher about what it is that she studies, and I researched more about IO, and here I am. I liked that it was like combining helping people, but also not so. hmm, It's not so overwhelming with the emotional burden, I suppose, that would come from clinical
Yes.
psychology. So that was a good like in between for me.
I felt the same way. I had a very similar journey. I was gonna go into clinical psychology, and I wanted to the stars. I was gonna move out and be a therapist to the stars. That was my plan. But then I realized I don't have the heart to just like I don't have, I would bring home that emotional work with me, and I didn't want that. And then I was bartending in Portland, Oregon, and two IO psychologists walked into my bar and they explained to me that they were in town to make life better for employees at a pre-existing hospital so they didn't all leave for the shiny new hospital that was coming in down the street. I'm like, let me get this straight. You are in town making the lives of the employees better. Figure what matters most to the employees so the organization can give that. And you're getting paid to do this and everyone's on board and like you just make life better at work for people. Like sign me up for that space. So I feel like most IO psychologists once thought they were going to be like
Mhm.
therapists and they ended up in this field. And so we share that about our background, Ireina. Um, okay, so what made you then decide like on the particular program that you were in, so you just kind of gave the big list to you and like why IO, but like how did you end up where you ended up and where do you want to go next?
So I chose my specific program at Valdosta State because, well, of location one, I like that it was still in the southern states because I like tropical climate, but also what really stood out to me about this program was that it was very applied and very hands-on. It offered a lot of opportunity for students to really get like hands-on experience while in the program. So for me, it felt more like a training program rather than a degree program. And the faculty here have always been so supportive and helpful. Really, the environment, the people, and the course of study was like an all-around win for me.
That's wonderful. And like, what were some ahas you had in grad school? Like, what were some like foundations that stick out to you that you're going to now like take on with you as an IO psychologist?
Hmm. I think that one of the things that really stood out to me was while I'm in these classes and I'm learning about leadership and working in teams and just things that I used to feel like were natural things, like kind of managing your emotions and like just being inclusive at work when you're working with others. And I came to find out that there were a lot of just regular people skills that a lot of people don't have. If that makes sense. Like people still struggle with talking and communicating very well to like other people, and leadership in general I've noticed has been not everybody is inclined to being in leadership, but they end up being leaders anyway. And I have noticed that when there's that kind of what's the word, mix match, it does come with issues. So I've just kind of learned how to identify gaps better, just kind of noticing the things that I'm learning through theories and seeing how it plays out in the real world. I don't know if
I
like you
love
can
it.
follow along.
So
I'd said a lot.
you're breaking up a little bit on my end. I'm hoping it's going through on the other end. So you just graduated, which is a really big deal, and I too was a first gen college student as well. What's next for you? What would be like the dream role or like the dream type of work that you'd want to be doing next in your career as a new grad?
It's really hard to pinpoint just one thing because I feel like a part of being in an IO psychology is like the fact that you get exposed to so many different areas. And so you have a lot of interest that can be in personnel side or, hmm, I don't, are you still there?
Still there?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll try one more time and then we're gonna direct everyone from this video to a blog that's gonna outline all these things. But in the meantime, like what would be the next step for you, Irene? What would you do?
If I could choose myself, I would definitely want to be in a role where I'm developing trainings or working with training and development departments for companies. I specifically enjoy onboarding and employee engagement specifically. So for me, it would be kind of taking over onboarding and really being able to shape the experience of an employee when they're first entering an organization, because I think first impressions matter. So that would really be what I describe as my dream role for right now.
I love it. Well, if anyone's out there and you have that dream role or you know someone who does or thinks someone should meet Ireina, please reach out. Ireina, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Honestly, through LinkedIn. I check LinkedIn every day, so that's pretty easy to reach me on there.
Find her on LinkedIn, connect with her, say hello. Thanks for being the next, IO psychologist in the world now. And
Thanks.
thanks for sharing about